we are back with Luciano Berio Sequenza, and here are a few ideas about specific places in the piece that some of you have asked me about. In earlier episodes we were talking about the space between the notes, playing between the notes. That's so, you can really apply that in this piece, because between the notes, when there are spaces, when there are holds, you're there reflecting. When there are spaces, they should be full of music, because it's a sequence and it has to continue from the beginning of the piece to the end. So now also I ask you to remember the Samuel Beckett moment when the characters flung onto the stage from the wings. Ah, there he is on stage. Like that. And that's sort of the way this piece starts. That you just... You're kind of there. Then after that space, then there are some spaces. I'm just going to touch on a few places here. Whenever you have you can always be thinking that the grace notes are going to the note, because they're grace notes to the note, that you don't get, but also that they're going to the note, and the notes often have a caret on them, which means they're short. Okay, flutter tongue, you all know how to do. I happen to do it in the back of my throat. It's a little harder to do in this piece when you're in the front of your mouth, but whatever floats your boat, do it. Let's see. Then, that's kind of like the beginning of the last page is kind of like the end of the beginning of the piece. Now this is the moment that Luciano said not beautiful, because I was going... I wanted to play a really nice low C. So he said, no, 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 no. Go. He wanted that kind of sound. So just think about that you're going for that. It's almost like, if you realize too, I should have mentioned this as another influence. He, of course, was working with Pierre Boulez and the beginning of Earcom, the whole experimentation with electronic music. And so they were listening to these kinds of notes that could go and just stop really fast. So a lot of those qualities are definitely in this piece too. So that was the sound he was hearing also. If you can get soft, if you can get as loud as you can there, like you still are hearing the high note while the low note plays, which is almost a multiphonic kind of thing. Let's see what else is there. Whenever he goes, all those kind of quixotic things, just keep that beat going in your head and place your notes where you can, where you think they should go. Okay, so now there's another place where this is at the bottom of the second page. A progression that goes homemade. Now on his part he goes, it's written 4 on each note. And I asked him, well, I thought you wanted this to go really fast. How can I do it? It slows down all of a sudden like I put the brakes on. He said, yeah, that's right. Well, why don't you try 2 on each note and then add more as the phrase goes on and you're slowing down. So this is what he authorized me to do. Something to think about. It appears slightly differently in the new edition, but it's a way that he said was okay to do in 1964 or something. All right, then we have our motive again. Let me try to think what else can be useful to you. When it goes, where you wind up with the C. And then for the harmonic, rather than going way down for a low C harmonic, if you play an F and slightly crack the key, it's going to wind up with a note that's really in tune with the C, which you've just played. If you roll in slightly as you're playing the sforzando C to get it really 3 Fs, sforzando, and then subito go just to that. Because this should be like the softer one had been going on all along underneath the fortissimo one. Adam thought it was really funny that I have "wig out" written on my music. That was from those days too, Adam. They're like, "What? Go!" So all of this, this should be, you should be almost like you're hearing the low tremolo as you hear the upper notes, like two flutes are playing. Then from here, there's your first theme. Then suddenly, important to go way down. Then here's the theme, like you're caught in the machine. And so on, and so on. And you want to go, hit the keys and play as ugly note as you can. And then when you get to this, so you can, I don't want to hit this beautiful Donna Heiken Powell here. I don't want to hit my flute too hard. But you have to really bang those keys to make the key sound. So what you're basically doing is you're fingering it as you would, graduating to, so that as the tone becomes smaller, you hear the actual pitches on the keys that you're slapping. And then when you want to get louder, you just bang on those keys, and then when you get back to it softer, you'll still hear those pitches. So it's basically those two pitches that you're hearing. Now the multiphonic, I hope someone's come up with a better fingering for it, but I always would just finger low C. Haven't been practicing it, but I would always pray before that they would come out. And often they did. Maybe there's a better fingering. You have to have a lot of support and keep the tongue slightly low while the lips are pursed. That's what I haven't played this for a while, so. Okay, so that's all except for the dolce place. That's so commedia. That's so. And then the last part with the as fast as you can for the grace notes and elegant as you can. Now another place he told me I could do something different from what is written is so in other words, instead of doing tremolo on the 3 Ps on the third to last line, you start already doing so that you can slow them down. They've been established as and then you start like that, right? And so the end, bah! As soft as you can. So, things to think about.